celebrity news, collectibles, and food.
And dick jokes.
You didn't think I was going to miss a chance for another fat joke, did you?
Hey.
This is Beyond the Routine.
You know, one of these times we should just like comically add like the audio to him but like extend it. Like just like for like 6 minutes. And just see how long the true believers out there will listen to us.
We'll hang on.
Yeah. So I am Jones.
I am Jesse.
I'm Dave.
Dude, that's messed up. So let's talk about this for a second. So there's 3 of us at the table. Jones, Jesse, and Chris. And I say I'm Jones. Therefore, there leaves 2 on the table. You could either be Jesse or you could be Chris. So Jones goes with Jesse. And then Jesse goes with Dave, who's not even an option. Just like, that's messed up.
It's a little messed up.
It's like a little messed up because you know Jones is like, I'm not going to be Chris. But I feel like I'm picked last. I'm having like elementary schools coming like flooding back.
Is it elementary school all over again?
And middle school, and then there's the whole high school, a little bit of college. We are beyond the routine.
We are beyond the routine.
That's great.
Welcome. Well, let's go ahead and get started with our favorite segment.
Yes.
They can barely remember the last segment, but for some reason want to talk about last week. Don't worry, it won't take long. This is Week in Review on Beyond the Routine.
My next week in review is going to be like, so we fired the intern manager this week. Let's see.
Do you have that say?
No. He has nowhere
Dude,
near
I don't
enough
know.
shares.
So how it started off with like I had 46% of the shares. Somehow he has 79% of the shit. Like there was some kind of like hostile takeover. I'm pretty sure he killed Dave, and now he has majority shares again.
Yeah, I killed Dave and buried him in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
the U.K. Virgin Islands, but the U.S. ones.
No, the U.S. ones. That's where Dave.
Because I couldn't get into the U.K. ones because I don't have a passport.
That's true. You don't have have you ever had a passport?
No, I have a passport. Actually, I do.
Oh, just in case you need it.
You do, really? Have you used it?
No, I have not.
Jones, do you have a go bag?
Yes, I do have a go bag.
You have like a go bag. Do you have a go bag?
No.
No, me neither.
My go bag is in the trunk of my car right now.
Jones, would it be weird if like if like the ZA ever happened? Could me and Jesse just.
We have an episode about that. If you want to tune in.
No, I've heard
I'm
it.
not entirely sure. You want to be part of my clan?
Yeah, he kills people like
Yeah,
nearly
he does.
immediately, right?
But if you're loyal to him, things will go well for
He
you.
could be my Negan.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, good.
Chris is okay with me being his Negan.
Good luck taking on a bunch
Why
of.
weren't you, Jesse?
Yeah,
Why weren't you?
good.
Just that kind of mentality, that kind of rule. Just
Good luck taking on a bunch of extra wives while your wife's still alive. By the way, just good luck with that. Yeah.
All these women just keep randomly dying. I don't know what's going on.
Unless she like nearly immediately. What's her name? What Tori? What's freaking Rick's wife's name? Annoying.
Lori?
Yeah, Lori. Unless she goes the route of Lori like nearly immediately, like she's gonna kill everybody. All right, what'd you do this week, Jones? Did you get monsooned on?
This week, there was a little rain that happened at the Delilah Stoll's birthday party.
That's right. We had a party for Delilah, and it completely and totally monsooned. It was amazing.
Yeah, like some of the worst weather I've been in Utah
Ever,
for
not just in August.
for a very long time.
The worst weather in August,
Yeah.
and then the next day I'm like, all right, we'll go to the pool tomorrow. To make up for you, and then it rained. And then I was like, okay, we'll go to the pool on Tuesday to make it up for you, and then it rained. So
It's been raining a lot the last little bit.
So we're never gonna get to the pool.
I think Delilah didn't live right. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, she's obviously sacrificing
she's 7
something.
and has already lived ill enough that she's getting rained out
That's true.
all the time,
She should probably quit killing homeless people.
or something to that effect. All right, that's that. I really didn't have anything else going on this week. What do you have, Jesse? Anything?
nope, I got nothing.
Nothing.
And all I had was the Delilah action. We're getting closer. We're marching closer to the house.
Yes.
I hired a moving company.
You hired a moving company.
I did.
You opted not to have homeless people come help you move. Huh?
No, I hired a moving company. It was actually how much do you think it was to move my house?
$300.
Okay, so I thought it would be more than what I paid, but it wasn't that cheap.
Ah, okay.
It was like $600.
Yeah.
But that's with like the truck and everything else. I don't have to worry about anything.
And the people moving it.
And they're licensed and insured. And
That's a bonus.
yeah. It would be more for you though, because you have a big gun safe. That's expensive.
I just hire that out separately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cheaper to go that route.
There you go.
I hire a bunch of Dothraki.
Oh yeah, the Dothraki.
You can hire them?
Yeah, I can.
Are you guys caught up on Game of Thrones? Did you hear that there was it's actually in the TV section, but
So we'll
guys are
talk to
caught
it then. Yeah, I'm caught up. Are you caught up,
I'm
Jesse?
caught up.
All right.
they had a lot of white
I
people as Dothraki. I noticed, like they really whitewashed the Dothraki. I was like, why are they all? And our Dothrakian friend even said something about it on Facebook. Like,
he commented
really?
it.
You can't hire like one Polynesian guy? Like, okay, it's fine, no big deal. All right, so what's up next? The one technology story?
We have a little bit of this, I believe.
Technology, gadgets, movies, and TV. These are just a few things that give Chris and Jones an excuse to avoid carbs and punish their temporary interns. But hey, they do get a cut of Chris's ownership of the show.
Yeah, we do.
for free.
On the Routine with Chris and Jones. Oh, and Dave, I guess.
I'm so excited. Was that the first time you played that one?
Yeah, I think that was-
yeah. That was my only joke request. I'm like, all right, and I met him downstairs. I'm like, it's a little hard to explain, but Jones is a dick and he takes all my shares. Like, all right, I'll work it in there somehow. So what? I have one thing in technology.
Go ahead and let's get into that.
And this is perfect for Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones recently bought a Google Home for me for this exact reason, and I think you were you doing it this way, or were you? So Google Home can now make calls. Like you just say, call Jesse, and it'll call Dave.
Well, it doesn't seem reliable.
Well, I mean,
Or-
I'm sorry.
I guess today
I'm
was-
sorry I picked the wrong name at the last minute there. It's going around nowadays. No. So Google Home can now make calls, and it won't cost you a dime. This
is home lines, not necessarily actual cell lines, right?
Yeah, no, so this is from the Next Web, published today. So they just pushed an update to their smart speaker that lets you make calls to any phone number in the U.S. and Canada.
Right.
So it's any number at all. And basically you can say, hey, Google, call, and then who's ever in your contact list. And it'll instantly make that call over Wi-Fi. So it won't use your cell phone or anything like that.
Would it
won't
use
route
your
through
cell phone before? Because it seems like the call feature has been there. Was it just using your linked cell phone before? Did your cell phone have to be linked to it before?
I thought there was a restriction. I thought before when you had to call, you were calling someone on Hangouts. Is that different?
Maybe that's what it was. It was a hangout call that it did.
And it's a little bit cooler because you can actually go, okay, Google, call the closest Walgreens or call the closest McDonald's. I don't know why
That
you
is
call
so
McDonald's.
it'll do the web search, find the
So it'll
number,
do
and
the
make
web
call.
search, find the number, and make the call for you.
all via the Wi-Fi.
So you
call.
have to try it out. You'll have to see go over there and ask it if something local and see if it's smart enough to know that location.
I will definitely give that a shot.
I'd be curious, what phone number does it come from?
So it
Well, check this out.
it didn't say anything about Google Home
let's
at
just
all.
do a test real quick.
Are
Call the closest Winco to me. So when I say the Winco food's closest to me,
yeah, you're doing
It
that on your
comes up.
phone
Right.
though? Won't that initiate a call from actually your cell phone?
right? But I'm just saying this is
It
how
doesn't-
it
it
gets,
doesn't
this is
even
how it gets
initiate
the
it, yeah.
number. Is it just does the Google
okay.
search for the same thing? If you say Winco closest to me, it's going to go out and find the one and return a number that I can then call.
And I'm assuming you have location services turned on the Google device. So that's how it figures out where you are. Just like
Right.
you can do location services on Chrome, so that way when you type something like that on Chrome, it automatically knows where you're located at.
So, here's the question though: if you say Google Home, call Dave, and then I get a call, what phone number shows up on the caller ID?
So it doesn't say that exactly in here. It does mention that you can use international calls through Project Fi and Google Voice. So maybe you have to have a Google Voice number associated, and that's how it does it. That's a good point.
That's what I'm kind of curious if you are, but that'd almost be kind of. I don't know that would be the case because they're not. Are they doing sign-ups much for
so
Google
it
Voice
does
anymore?
say it might also be something to do with the fact that Home presently won't display your number in the caller ID. So it does seem like maybe there's no number associated with
So
what
it's
you
an
call.
unknown
It's an
caller,
unknown,
probably.
unknown
Oh, that's
caller.
too bad because that would have been really cool to specifically call someone's Google Home.
Someone else's Google Home? And
Just
like
somebody's, anybody. Wouldn't that be neat if I could just call the Google Home?
That would be neat. Be like call Dave's Google Home, and as long as he shares it, he knows. You also can't use E911 services. So since there's no number, it's not associated with 911. So you can't be like, okay, Google, call 911. I feel like that's a huge market right there for people that might, be sick or something like that or fall.
I think what Jesse was getting at here, and I correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, but you were hinting at the fact that when you do this from the Echo, it calls somebody else's Echo.
Yeah. So yes, the Echo does,
Right.
but I'm not trying to be competitive, saying the Echo's better in any way. I'm just wondering, like, you would think that'd be a feature too, to be able to call your Google Home. Or
so here's the question,
or
though.
if I call your Hangouts number, does your Hangouts number, is it smart enough to call your cell phone plus all your Google Home devices?
Oh, so if we called the Gadget intern right now, 72 devices would ring?
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. That's a good question. But
call the Gadget intern's 17th cell phone.
I think what you would have to do is, the contacts are all by device, right, in your contacts list on your phone. So if you're going call Dave and I have 7 numbers for Dave, I'm sure it's going to say which number do you want to call.
Right.
Right. But what my question is, will they give an update to Android that allows me to add Google Home? When Dave has a Google Home, I can add Google Home as a number for him possibly, and I can just say call Dave on Google Home. And it will ring Dave's Google Home, possibly. That's something to look forward to. All right. Well, that was. You got anything else from that awesomeness of the Google Home?
I don't, because it would make sense to have a lot of technology stories, but I don't.
Because we're kind of a technology show, a little bit.
I
Anyway,
have technology-related stories in other segments.
The Stoles, you have the LG V20.
I do not. I have the
G6.
The G6.
The G6. You don't have the V series. You have the G series.
Yes. So the V series is they're every other. Do they go every other year?
I think every other year. So V20 was last year. G6 is this year, and V30 it will be the next generation of LG phone.
And what's the difference between the V line and the G line? Is there? Like mine doesn't have a removable. I think that one has a removable battery.
This one does not.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay.
No, that's a big change from the V20. Is the V20 did have the removable backplate and battery.
Was that the modular one?
No, it was just a standard phone. So the V30 has been leaked, both specs and photos.
LG leaked them
Right,
I'm sure.
Right. But they call it EV leaks, like this Evan Bass guy. He's the leaking champ. He just goes and says, "Hey, give me some photos from LG," and they provide
LG's them. Like, "Here you go, buddy,"
because they're like totally professional photos here. It wasn't like he took them on the LG factory floor or anything.
That's one of the things that's always struck me with Samsung. Is Samsung is the closest thing to iPhone simply because they're the only brand that happens with.
Yeah, when you see a leak, it's literally on somebody's desk, all gnarled up and everything.
Maybe Google stuff does that a little bit too.
So we already knew that the LG V30 smartphone would have one of the best cameras on the market, face and voice unlocking, plus a whopping 6-inch 18:9 OLED screen with high-end specs. Now we know exactly what those specs are going to be. It will have a high-end Qualcomm 835 chip, but like I said, they've removed the backplate and battery like they had on the V20. The dual camera will be basically same as the G6 has. It'll be for the wide-angle lenses, but they did the smart thing. Similar to the G6 as well, is they moved the fingerprint sensor below the camera instead of right by the camera like Samsung did.
Yeah, which was one of the big complaints from the S8, right?
Right.
Does that ever bother you at all, having the S8?
No, it's never really bothered me at all. It doesn't mark up the camera at all if I accidentally hit it.
So you can still take great selfies and all that?
Yeah. My good selfies that I love taking. The one thing I didn't realize, though, is the V20 had this, gimmicky second screen at the top on the back.
Yes.
So what was that all about? I didn't actually look into the V20
I think it was a notification screen.
Just a notification screen? Okay. The other good thing about the V30 is zero bezel. Nearly no bezel display on the top and bottom. Very similar to
which is this year's hotness.
Yeah, you don't want bezels. Bezels are bad. They're so last year.
Yeah.
So that's the other
Do you have a
cool
bezel
thing.
on your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, so folklore.
Jesse's got this clunky thing going on. He's got a
Yeah.
battery pack on it and all kinds of stuff. It's like,
Yeah, that phone's in bad shape.
That's your
when
iPhone?
you getting another one?
So that's what
Well, I'm waiting for the announcement
of the
next
iPhone
next
7S or 8, whatever they decide to call it.
I think they're
Yeah,
calling
I don't
it
know.
the 8, right?
Might be the 8 because it's supposed to be the 10th anniversary iPhone.
So they're
they
skipping
figure-
the S?
They think they might.
Really?
So that's an iPhone 6?
Yes, it is.
You've officially known me enough, like long enough that you've gone through an iPhone. I remember when you got that phone,
Yeah.
like right when they came out.
Yeah, that was when I was fairly.
Jones has gone through like 10 phones, but like you've gone through one phone.
Yeah, I stick to a phone.
No, Jones, you probably you've maybe gone through 3 phones. The Nexus 6, the Nexus 6P, and then this S8.
I never had the 6.
Yeah, the 6 was a piece of shit.
I had the S5 before my Nexus 6P.
The
Galaxy
Nexus
S5.
6 was the worst Nexus by far. It's
was-
the only Nexus I didn't like.
It was
I had 4 Nexuses in a row.
Shameful phone. All right, so that's it for tech news. Let's go ahead and get into. We don't have it. Yeah, we do.
From dreams to reality, it's time to look at futurology, the newest developments and coolest stuff that hasn't even been invented yet.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Strap on your jetpacks and fly to the future with Chris and Jones.
After this, there is no turning back.
It's Future Tech.
You know what kind of stuff belongs in future tech? 2 words. 2 words. Omnidirectional elevators.
Omnidirectional.
Okay, explain that.
Omnidirectional elevators.
They're going to transform our cities, I hear.
Spoiler alert! Jeez, I was trying to bury the lead. So omnidirectional elevators. The elevators in Willy Wonka, they just go all over.
Okay.
Like, so rather than go up and down, omnidirectional elevators will just be like on the outside of the building, there's a layer, and they'll just be able to go, boom.
See, at this point, though, here's the problem. They no longer are elevators at that point.
No, they're omnidirectional elevators.
No, because
Sorry,
literally the definition of elevator is elevate, which is up and down.
Let's see. Elevator. Define.
So, and here's my
Define.
argument for this is Jesse will know this especially. Jesse, the elevators in the Luxor in Vegas are not called elevators, are they?
No, they are not.
They are called inclinators because they go up an incline. They don't go up and down. They go at an incline this way.
For our international viewers, which konnichiwa, the Luxor is a pyramid, so that would be why. So the definition of an elevator in North America is a platform or compartment housed in a shaft for raising and lowering people or things to different floors or levels.
In a shaft, raising and lowering. That tells
So
me up and
the
down.
thing that kills it there is shaft.
And
Because
raising
is a
and
shaft,
lowering.
Okay, now we got to define shaft.
No, it's not shaft. Raise and lower. That's
Yeah,
up and down.
a platform housed in a shaft for raising or lowering. That still fits omnidirectional.
No,
So
back and forth. Not
Shaft.
Raise and lower.
it says different floors or levels. So let's see, shaft. Define a long, narrow part or section.
Shaft can be a
forming
mine shaft
the
to go
handle.
back into a mountain.
Yes, so it's saying either a vertical hole. So a shaft is indeed one long stretch. So by the word shaft,
But not raise and lower in the definition of elevator. Raise and lower.
So what I'm saying is shaft makes you right. The shaft makes you right.
No, raise and lower makes me right. Shaft doesn't make me right.
No, it doesn't say raise and lower. Raise and lower, they're still raising and lowering. You were upper, and now you're upper. Boom, raise, lowering.
If I get an elevator to take me from here to the next room, I am not getting raised or lowered.
I guess that's true. Okay,
Yes.
okay, I'll give you it. We have a judgment. Jones is right. Jones's shaft is always right. Write that down. So, yes. So the omnidirectional elevators. Back to the story here.
They're gonna what? What are they gonna do to cities?
Omnidirectional elevators are going to transform our cities. So this comes from thenextweb.com. Anthony Wood, Tony Wood. In 160 or so years since the first skyscrapers were built, technological innovations of many kinds have allowed us to build them to reach astonishing heights. There's a 1,000-meter, the first 1,000-meter building is under construction. That's 167 floors in Saudi Arabia. There's even taller buildings that are structurally possible with today's technology. They can be taller than 1,000 meters. But people still don't really live in skyscrapers the way futurists had envisioned for one reason. Elevators only go up and down. So in Harry Potter and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, you have these cableless boxes that travel vertically and horizontally and diagonally. So apparently there's a German elevator producer, ThyssenKrupp, which I'm sure. That, like we're not they're no slouch.
Otis. Yeah. They're no Otis elevator. Mind
don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong. But
they're up there. They're okay.
So ThyssenKrupp is one of the largest elevator makers in the world. And they're talking about getting rid of cables altogether. Build elevators more like magnetic levitation trains, which are common in Japan and China. So
then you're talking about some serious speed too. You go electromagnets.
Maybe I don't know.
Oh yeah.
What gets me excited about this is Star Trek tech.
It is
because
we're coming into
the
Star
turbo
Trek
lifts
tech
also
again?
go in horizontal.
Oh yeah, they go and I think this is more talking about like on a grid, like almost like I said on the outside of a building. But they go in and out of the building on in and out and stuff too. So
what they're theorizing in this is you have a 1,000 meters, 167 story building.
Yes.
And it's obviously going to be a pretty good sized building. So, you could have several units from the easternmost part to the westernmost part of the building per se.
So you walk up to your elevator on this side and it just goes
and you can
directly
say,
to your
I want to
apartment.
go to the 13th floor and the 19th unit.
Yeah, you just put it in your unit. Boof. So basically,
other things happen when you put in your unit too. But
yeah, that's true. This isn't any kind of. Right now, they just kicked off a research project through a nonprofit
our wives
council.
think we like to say the word shaft.
Yeah, I like to say the word shaft.
It's a good word.
Shaft. We imagine that people might live, say, on the 50th floor of a tall building, and only rarely have to go all the way down to the street level. So they're talking about buildings like almost like skyscrapers are kind of cities within cities, right? These big buildings. So they're talking about like, oh, I just need to go to the grocery store. It's like that book that we like that we always bring up.
That one about Ready Player One.
Yeah, where the guy's ready for playing.
And
it's
he's
like
won.
That. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So the project's set to go and conclude next year at this time, 2018.
Okay.
So it's going to explore the practical applications of ropeless elevator travel as possible.
Ooh, awesome.
So pretty awesome.
All right, let's move right into the other one that we have.
Game of Thrones, Stranger Things, House of Cards. These are just 13 reasons why Chris and Jones are talking TV. It's television time on Beyond the Routine.
Well, Pete, I heard you say 13 reasons, and as far as Netflix shows that have numbers in them, great segue, Pete, let's talk about X Hamster, the pornography site. So this week, X Hamster solicited.
Where did the number come into play?
So solicited another streaming website by a little get up called Netflix.
Okay.
And said, you know what? We want to produce the next season of Sense8. So Sense8 was a very popular TV show that was on Netflix, but it was the most expensive television show ever made, even more than Game of Thrones.
Really?
And
what was the show? How come I didn't hear about this? You hear about Sense8, Jesse?
I've heard about Sense8.
I haven't heard about it.
It's a sci-fi show. It estimated that each season cost like $250 million. So Netflix, even though it had a huge cult following, pulled the plug after 2 seasons to the dismay of the internet. And if you know one thing about 2017, folks, you do not want to piss off the internet. So
do not piss off the interwebs.
I have a friend that works at Netflix, and anytime anything like this happens, she gets these calls. They're like, I just want to tell you suck, and I'm going to cancel because it's Sense8. Yeah, so she'll come over to my house and be like, oh, God, Netflix canceled Sense8 this week. It was horrible.
That's so bad.
It was so bad. So X Hamster, the pornography site, has stepped in and said, you know what? We will produce the next season of the show for you. We want it so bad, we will pay for it, and we will make season 3 of Sense8.
Really?
And this isn't just an X-rated theme or parody of the show or anything like that. This is the real thing.
The real deal.
After the backlash last month, Netflix eventually buckled to fan complaints and said that they're going to commission a 2-hour finale to wrap up the series in the proper way. But the porn titan wants a more, satisfying ending. So
a happy ending.
They want a happy ending. They want to come to completion when it comes to Sense8. So it hasn't happened yet. They haven't, obviously Netflix hasn't announced that they're going to. I can't imagine they're going to, but I thought that was pretty funny. Can you believe that X Hamster has enough money that they're like, hey, you know that $200 million episode, that show?
I'm surprised. I've never even heard of this.
Gotcha. Oh, you haven't?
No.
X Hamster? You've never heard of X Hamster?
No. So, I mean, what kind of site should we go into over here, Jesse? You Pornhub guy, RedTube?
Well, I've heard of those.
Yeah.
Yes, both of
X
those.
Hamster is just as popular. I mean, maybe it's a little less mainstream. Maybe there's little fetish stuff on there. I'm not sure. Jones told me.
Well, of course I told you.
Yes. All right.
Everything I've learned about porn, I've learned from Chris.
It's deep dark.
What's in it? What's in it for them to produce this season? I don't.
I
understand
imagine
the
that
end game here.
I imagine it's pretty low risk. Like I feel like what happened was X Hamster was like, "Hey, let's get some publicity," and because I don't imagine Netflix is like, "Hell yeah, we'll do it." And I imagine that the people that are like starring on the show might have something to say about that as well. So who knows?
Shout out to our number one fan in Logan. What up, O?
Oh yes, O is coming on the 26th. It's his birthday. I mean, if you're not doing anything, like maybe
Go say what up.
Maybe you could be like, "What up, O?" Speaking of expensive shows, let's talk about Game of Thrones.
Let's do that.
Game of Thrones. So HBO got hacked. Jones, Jesse, do you know about this? HBO got hacked. Yes. So. Basically, hackers breached on August 2nd.
Can we just go back to how we didn't say Chris in the beginning?
No, yeah. It's fine. It's no big deal. You remember how Dave's all like, we don't walk out anymore? Like, I was like, this. It's like, I'm Jones.
It's true.
I am Jesse. I'm the guy that's not in the country. It's messed up, man.
There has not been one walk-off since Chris started.
Chris, that's it. I said good day.
I said good
Dave's
day.
going to be like all of a sudden you guys settle up the pool. Jones is going to be like, I knew it was a long shot, but I picked Chris. And I finally won. So on August 2nd, hackers breached HBO's U.S. servers and stole 1.5 terabytes of data. Obviously, 1.5 terabytes is a lot. That could, it could be anything. The hack was 7 times larger than the infamous 2014 Sony hack, which was very embarrassing, and the studio is still recovering from. And then there was like a series of amazing blunders after this. So everyone's like, "Oh my God, we're gonna get Game of Thrones! It's gonna be amazing!" Instead, on August 4th, 2 days later, Star India, one of HBO's distribution partners, accidentally leaked the episode of Game of Thrones, the 4th episode of Game of Thrones, 2 days before it was, 2 days after the security breach. So they accidentally leaked it. So it's like, oh. So that got on the internet. So on August 8th, the hackers post 5 Game of Thrones scripts online and demand a Bitcoin ransom, or they're going to release all of the emails and stuff like that.
Really?
So there was a huge Bitcoin thing because HBO was trying to. I didn't follow up on this, but I heard HBO was trying to put together $250,000 worth of Bitcoin to pay these guys. Because the biggest thing with the Sony hack and the most embarrassing thing with the Sony hack is they released all the emails and it was all these people talking shit about all these stars, and then the stars won't work with Sony anymore. And like these people got fired and there was like all kinds of things. So there's speculation that maybe there's a little bit of that mixed with like HBO's long-term strategy. You know, they don't want their competition to know what their strategy is.
Okay.
So in another comedic blunder, on August 16th, the 6th episode of Game of Thrones Season 7 was accidentally aired by HBO itself. So that's yesterday.
Well, the Nordic version, apparently.
Correct. So yesterday, the 6th episode, which is Sunday's episode of Game of Thrones, was leaked. So if you want to go out there right now tonight and go watch Game of Thrones, it's all over the internet. Watch out for spoilers. HBO Nordic mistakenly aired the 6th episode in its entirety of 7th season of Game of Thrones in Spain for a full hour before it was taken down.
I got to be honest. This is just leading me to believe the whole adage, no publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah, so when Game of Thrones first came out, it was popular, but not quite this mega thing that it is now. Just like Breaking Bad, just like these other shows that, you know, build over time. And I remember for like the 3rd season, I think it was, like the first 3 episodes leaked weeks ahead of time, and everyone said that it was HBO that was just like
we need to
drum up this business.
Yeah.
And then finally today, a group called One Mind carried out an attack on HBO's social media accounts, and then basically hacked all their social media accounts. and they talk shit about them on their Twitter, saying that they have weak security. And it was here. Hi, Armine are here. We are testing your security. HBO team, please contact us to upgrade the security. So I'm sure the security officer at HBO is probably having the worst week ever. But yes, so that's the hack. So if you want to watch the new episode of Game of Thrones, Jones,
it's out there somewhere.
It's in the ether.
The ether. All right, let's move right into our next segment, which is one of these.
With the latest action from the big screen, these guys are ready to talk Hollywood. Explosions, car chases, and guns. Though they do prefer a good rom-com.
Oh, Billy!
It's time for movie news.
All right, Dave, it's up to you. Do you want to learn about Moviepass? Do you want to learn about Justice League reshoots? Do you want to learn about the death of Batfleck? Or do you want to learn about the Obi Wan Kenobi?
Let's talk about Moviepass.
Moviepass. Did you hear about Moviepass this week, Jesse?
I did, because I tried to sign up.
I did sign up, Jesse.
You did?
I did.
Did you get a trial?
I did not. I just paid for it because the trial kept timing out on me.
That was my problem.
I was like, we'll try it out for $10. We'll try it out. Jones, did you hear about Moviepass?
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go. We talked about Moviepass.
Okay, great.
All right.
Next story.
So moving on. No, okay, so Moviepass. People really like the words, it's the Netflix of...
Yes.
Yes. So we actually talked about this previously on Beyond the Routine. There is a service called Moviepass that came out about a year and a half ago, I think. And it is basically you get to see unlimited movies for $30 a month is how much it was, I believe. $30 a month. So you pay the service $30 a month. They send you this little MasterCard. When you're in the movie, you bring out your phone in the parking lot and you say, I'm at this movie. It activates the MasterCard. You swipe the MasterCard to pay for your movie ticket. Boom. You see your movie.
Okay.
And you can watch one movie a day, every day for 30 days. So that was $30. Well, this week, Moviepass broke the internet as far as their site was concerned when they announced that they're lowering it to $10 a month. And AMC, the biggest movie chain in the world, lost their shit.
Yes.
So they were like,
they won't be the only
Yes.
one.
We are going to figure out how to sue you, and we're going to sue you. Here's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. Is the way that movies work is a movie comes out, and for the first couple weeks, the movie theater barely gets anything from the movie. They get like 98% of the movie goes to the studio, and like 2% goes to the theater. And then as a movie stays in the theater, that percentage slowly increases week after week until like at the very end, if it's a really long-running movie, the theater may get 80% and the other people get 20%. Did you know that?
Yep.
Okay. So these people are going to use this Moviepass like in the first week, and then they're going to come in not having to pay for the thing and say, you know what? I'm going to spend $10 on concessions. So why the hell is AMC losing their shit, do you think? Because they just don't like change? Just go back to the whole Disney story from last week?
There's something that doesn't add up. Who's making money where?
So no one is making money anywhere. So Moviepass has actually came out and said, we are losing a shit ton of money, basically. So they have all these VCs that have backed them. They're these billionaire, VCs. They've given them VC money. And their hope is they hit critical mass where they have enough say where they can make the theaters bend to their will. That's what the movie... So the CEO of movie...
So they want to be like what Apple did in the music industry.
Correct. That's exactly what they want to do. They want to make it so ubiquitous that the movie theaters then have to work out discounted deals with them. So
there's your answer to
why
AMC is losing their shit.
I wrote it off a little bit until I found out the guy that actually runs Moviepass, not the founder, but the guy that runs Moviepass, is the same guy that helped start Netflix and the same guy that was the CEO of Redbox for 10 years. So it has legit talent behind it. Like, the guy changed the media, how we consume media, not once but twice. So, like Jesse said, their website was absolutely melted down this week. All their app reviews went to absolute shit because people couldn't get to their service. I finally got signed up. I signed up. There is no way you can say opt out of it. It's a MasterCard. If you take MasterCard at your theater location, you can use Moviepass at that location. So I'll get it in a couple weeks, and I'm going to test it out for a month. And if it's as good as it seems like it's going to be, I'm just going to get them for the whole family. So for $40 a month, I can, if I take the kids to 2 movies, it pays for itself. And if
that's not entirely true about your statement of MasterCard, right? Because there are company-sponsored cards that have a special number associated with them.
No, there's not actually. I don't know if you remember, but Costco recently switched from American Express Costco, and they switched to Visa. And when they did that, they had to take all Visa credit cards. They're forced to take all Visa credit cards. So
right, but if you have an actual Delta Sky Miles is one of them. Delta Sky Miles has a special second set of numbers that nobody else's Delta card or nobody else's Visa card has.
I don't know about
that. That's the company specific identifier. The first 4 identify Visa or MasterCard.
Oh yeah, I know that. I understand.
Second 4 are can be reserved for specific companies, so that's how they're identified.
Which is what they do with like HSA cards. But I think...
And that's why I'm telling you, movie companies, if they want, will just decline the card when that card is ran based on them seeing that set of numbers.
I don't know, man. Because even when Costco had American Express, you could use any American Express in their store, not just their specific one. I'd have to look into that. I'm pretty sure that they have to sign an agreement with the card company where they'll accept MasterCard. Any MasterCard. I don't,
and it's all about just like you said with the HSA, where even though it's Visa, not everybody has to accept it.
Yeah, but I think that's coded off like the retailer type. So like if you go into Walgreens, you can literally buy anything at Walgreens with your HSA card because it doesn't distinguish it. But if you walk into El Pollo Loco, it's not going to work. So I don't know. I'll look into that this week and let you know. And obviously I'm getting the card and I'll review it on the show and see what we think about it.
There you go.
What do you think about it, Jones? Is it something that would interest you? Do you like going to the movies enough?
Yeah.
I go enough. I'll get it, and I want to try it. Just something just seems like it's a gotcha. Like something's not going to work. Like they're going to either have to raise the price or, either movie theaters are going to find a way around it. It just seems way.
Go
too
ahead and
good to
let
be
me
true.
know if you get like 40,000 times more sales calls and junk mail and junk email after doing this.
Well, they've actually said that's one of the third part of their plan is just like what Netflix did with their analytics to movies, where they can kind of cater to their audience. They're eventually going to sell this data. So everybody sells data anyway. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I didn't give my phone number, so I'm assuming I might get more spam, but hopefully Google helps me out there. All right, the next story I have, do you want to hear about your favorite guy, Batfleck?
Yeah, what's going on with Batfleck?
Batfleck. So there's been a rumor going on that Mr. Affleck will be bowing out after the Justice League. Have you heard that rumor?
I have.
Well, it was all but confirmed this week when Casey Affleck was giving an interview and said, yeah, he's not doing the Batman. And then he was like I watched the interview, and then the guy, the look of shock on the interviewer's face, and he's all like, oh, well, I haven't confirmed that 100%. I'm not sure if, and he kind of backtracked a little bit. Basically,
I thought he was at least signed on for a Batman movie, though.
Apparently he is, but then there's been so much, this is, it was 4 years ago when they announced that? 4 years. It's been 4 years since they announced Ben Affleck was going to be Batman.
Really?
And they still haven't come out with a standalone Batman movie. So he was supposed to write and direct it. That backed out a couple months ago. Ben Affleck has been in and out of rehab a couple times for alcoholism since he's divorced his wife, Jennifer Garner. There's obviously a lot of turmoil going on there. And so they're saying that, maybe he's done. Maybe he hangs up the cowl without even his own movie.
Interesting.
Are you going to be sad? Do you like
I wasn't that sold on him ever, to be honest.
I think he makes a good Bruce Wayne.
I liked him as Batman and Bruce Wayne. Honestly, I was really not happy when he was announced, but he surprised me. I really liked how he did it in Justice League.
Yeah,
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, I thought he was good in Batman versus Superman. I didn't think he made I don't like the design of like Batman versus Superman. I'm not a huge I thought I was a big fan of what's his butt freaking Zack Snyder. I love 300, but I don't like the costume design. I don't like how big and bulky the bat suit is. I don't know. To go with that, along with that, we have a Justice League movie story. So the Justice League movie is going through $50 million worth of reshoots right now, even though it comes out in November. So they spent $50 million on reshoots. They hired Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon is doing the reshoots for them. And it's rumored that they're completely throwing, after the smash hit that Wonder Woman was, they're completely changing the whole third act, and they're dialing it back. Apparently they're taking some of the villains that appear in the third act out to make it less crowded, which was, has been the complaint of Batman vs. Superman and was the complaint of the last Superman movie. So, I mean, who knows? I think it spells a little bit of trouble that the movie comes out in November and they're still like finishing up reshoots. One of the funny things about the reshoots, and this is another story, is Henry Cavill, who plays Superman, is in the middle of the Mission Impossible 6 movie. And he's contracted through Paramount for the Mission Impossible 6 movie, and Warner Brothers reached out and said, we have to have you back for these reshoots. Apparently Superman is only really in the third act, from what I've heard. The thing is, his character in the Mission Impossible movie has a mustache. Okay. And he's contractually obligated to keep this mustache and not shave. Contractually in his contract. So Warner Brothers said, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to film it with his mustache, and then we're going to digitally remove his mustache. So people are speculating that the VFX artists are going to have to, it's going to have to be like $5 million of this budget is going to be spent digitally removing, frame by frame, Henry Cavill's mustache. So we'll have to, when we watch it, we'll have to see if they do like weird shots where it's like just half of Superman's face.
Oh, you know what I hate about that? I'm going to be watching that movie, and it's going to take me out of the movie.
Yes.
I'm going to be looking for that.
Exactly. The whole time. Like, I think I saw it. So there, the internet kind of made fun of the whole mustached Superman looking like Freddie Mercury and all that. And officially, Henry Cavill actually came out and on Instagram this week, and he released a video of like a ring kind of thing from the Mission Impossible 6 set, which he's back on, saying that I'd like to set this straight. This is not, in fact, the Mission Impossible 6 set. This is actually a series of weapons designed in conjunction by Warner Brothers and Paramount Studios to combat the entity known as Henry Cavill's mustache. There's been no discussion over whether to shave or not shave for the JL reshoots. So he's basically saying that, people stop running away with the speculation. Supposedly it's not a thing, but there's insiders on the story that say that they've talked to the VFX artists, and they're already, planning their strategy to remove this mustache digitally. So we'll have to see if it actually winds up being true or not. And if you wind up sitting through the entire Justice League being like, was that a mustache shot? You think it wasn't a mustache shot? All right, Jones, you seem to be, is there a problem?
Yeah, we have audio issue.
Okay, audio on the stream?
On everything.
Uh-oh. That's not good. I wonder are we still recording?
We're still recording, but you left the stream PC connected to the recording PC, so everybody was hearing the 24/7 stream going in the background. But I've shut that off, but he says I'm getting reports that there's still something going on in the background. So I don't know.
I thought I paused the stream PC thing. I'm sorry.
It was going. When I
Good job, Jesse. Now we have a weird recorded thing. God damn it, Dave. See, this would have been Chris's fault if you just would have picked me in the very beginning of the show. All right, so should we keep going?
Go ahead, keep going.
All right, we'll have to see if this episode actually gets to air or not. So the last thing I have in movie news is just breaking. There's a little movie coming on about this guy named Obi Won Kenobi. So supposedly one of the next Disney standalone movies is going to be the story of Obi Won Kenobi. And who would you want to play Obi Wan Kenobi, Jesse?
Dave.
No. So the internet this week basically said Ewan McGregor is the only Obi Wan Kenobi we want to see. So like I looked in several places and they said if they don't cast him, they're idiots, and I don't want to see it.
Wow.
So and he's actually came out and said once Disney bought Star Wars, he came out and said he would love to redo the role. So we might see years after the fact.
Is this a prequel? before?
I would assume. I mean, they can do anything with the story, right? Like,
well, I guess
there's
it
all
wouldn't be
that
a
time.
sequel. He's dead. But I mean, before.
Whoa!
before
Spoiler alert from 1977, bro. Jeez.
But before the prequels, I'm guessing.
Well, let's see. So we've seen him in the beginning of the prequels. We've seen him during the Clone Wars, and that's Clone Wars is canon, so you can't write over that time.
Well, they could still.
There's a huge amount of time between the prequels, though. When Rogue One's happening, he could be doing all kinds of things.
Yes, yeah, there could be.
Because
so that's what I'm wondering. Could it be that time period or?
So let's see. Luke is like 20 when Star Wars kicks off. So you got to figure that Obi Wan Kenobi was like in his 60s. So like when he was he was already on the planet when on Tatooine, right? Or not Tatooine. What's the planet name?
Yeah, he
Tatooine?
He
Yeah,
went to
Tatooine.
With Luke.
So, in the end, when they talk about splitting up the babies, he already says there's an old friend on Tatooine that's going to watch him, right? So, like, he's already on that planet, but how did he get to that planet after Revenge of the Sith? So, I mean, there's all that, and then I guess there's prequels, too. Could they bring Liam Neeson back? Oh, my God. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty excited about that. As the years have gone by, I've softened on the prequels. I don't know how you feel about it. Like
I actually like them. They weren't great. 1 and 2 really weren't great, but they were still fun. Especially if you take them aside from the rest of the Star Wars galaxy. I guess just watch them as kind of on their own. I think they're still fun. I really liked 3.
So 3 was for a long time was the only Star Wars I had ever seen in the theater. So I didn't see 1 and 2 in the theater. I didn't get the chance, and I didn't see any of the re-releases in the theater. So. The new ones, the last 2, and Revenge of the Sith are the only ones I've seen in the theater. So that was kind of special. And what softened me on it is talking to the kids that were kids back then and how much they hold, how shitty it was for everyone to be crapping over these movies that they loved and how, like, they almost had to hide their love for years. Like, talking to a couple people like that, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I like Jar Jar. Like, obviously there was a flawed, the prequels were flawed. The sixth one's flawed too. Like, bears beat, bears basically. One fight on one planet brings down the Empire somehow. This vast thing, like, there's obviously flaws with the story there. But I think it'll be pretty cool. I'm a little disappointed, though, because everyone's been talking about this Boba Fett movie.
So that's what I was curious about. The Boba Fett movie still happening?
The Boba Fett movie hasn't officially been announced. I'm pretty sure it hasn't officially been announced.
Oh, okay. So if that's not official, because I know that had turmoil because of the director being let go and everything like that.
Well, that's the Han Solo movie. So that's the Han Solo movie. So Chris Miller and Phil Lord got let go from the Han Solo movie, and what's his name? Opie from Ron Howard is now finishing up the Han Solo movie.
Oh no, this was drama before the Han Solo movie happened. The guy who's supposed to do the Boba Fett one was the guy who directed Chronicle and the Fantastic Four. And he had so many problems on set with Fantastic Four that he got let go.
Oh, he was that guy's a jerk, dude.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy was not happy with
that whole thing that happened with Fantastic Four. I lost so much respect for that guy. I doubt he'll ever work in Hollywood again. He torched his own career with that whole thing.
So he got let go from the Boba Fett, and then it was left in limbo for a while, and we hadn't heard anything about it. So my question is that movie not going to happen anymore, or is that still kind of in limbo? If that's still happening, that means we've got 4 standalone Star Wars movies.
So I actually hadn't seen this, so I put this in earlier, and so this is a news story. When I just Googled that, it said, today it was confirmed that Disney and Lucasfilm are developing Star Wars standalone centered around Obi Wan Kenobi. But there was a very interesting footnote in the report concerning some other classic characters. Apparently, Star Wars standalone movies centered around Yoda and Boba Fett are in active development, which isn't the most surprising news in the world, as both characters have long been rumored for their own spin-off movies. So not only we got an Obi Wan Kenobi, a Yoda movie, and bounty hunter Boba Fett movie, which is what I hope they do with it. Like, I love all those bounty hunters, like IG-88, Bosick, Forlome, like all the bounty hunters that are there in Empire that are standing next to Boba Fett. Dinger, I can never pronounce it right. I would love to see like that's. So I've always said the Boba Fett movie that I want to see is like Lion King 1.5, where it's just him like blasting out of the Sarlacc pit, and then the whole rest of it is him trying to catch Han Solo while Return of the Jedi happens. Like he's killing Ewoks trying to catch Han Solo. Like, Yeah, and then he has a change of heart when Han Solo saves the universe, and he's like, you know what, I'll just let you go on. But what I'd really love to see is just a bounty hunter movie, like that centers around, or even a series, dude. I would eat it. I would eat a series up. It'd be awesome. Like Bosick and all the other bounty hunters that would be in it. It'd be pretty awesome. So we'll have to see, what happens with that. Obviously,
that's so crazy to me because now, based on that information, that would be 5 Solo.
Yeah, well, they've said that they're coming out every other year. So for at least for this trilogy, and I'm assuming they're going to have another trilogy. I assume at least 2 trilogies. Right?
Really, you think they are? I thought
definitely, dude. Definitely. Well, what they'll do is what they're going to do though is instead of having the whole like Luke, Leia, Han, and have to pay these people $50 million to like come back, what they'll do is I bet like
Leia could be difficult at this point.
Well, yeah, she's not coming back. Hollow Leia's coming back, but so I bet that I guarantee that Finn, Rey, the main people will not make it to the end of this trilogy. Like I bet Kylo Ren is probably not long for this world, and I bet so that way they can reboot it and have another trilogy. They could just have trilogies forever. I will keep paying to go see Star Wars movies in the theater every year for the rest of my life. Like I'm living my dream. Like there's 3 or 4 Marvel movies a year, and I go watch them. So one Star Wars movie a year is awesome. So there has been the hiccup though. There was the huge hiccup with Han Solo. There's obviously other hiccups going on. People were saying they did a lot of reshoots on Rogue One. Maybe it's not going to work out doing the every year thing, but I think that it's a cash cow, dude. They'll keep milking that cow till it's dry, and it will never be dry because they'll be fat, middle aged, then old bearded men like me that'll be like, I will pay you so much money. Yeah. So speaking of the watch, did you listen to last week's episode?
Yes.
So $100,000, no more Star Trek for the rest of your life.
100,000 is a little low. I'd have to go higher.
Which is what I came with. So $500,000, no Star Trek ever.
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah.
$500,000,
Easily.
boom. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Jones, did you figure everything out?
Call yourself a fan.
What's your favorite fandom? Off Charlie. That was a Charlie. Yeah. What's your favorite fandom? What's your favorite flavor of fandom?
Your favorite franchise?
Like your favorite, if that movie comes out, if that book comes out around that.
Wow, he's tilting his head back. He
I
doesn't
don't know.
have,
He's got to
must not
think.
have
So
one.
what's yours?
If he has to think about
is it
he must not
Firefly?
have a big
Is it
one.
Stargate?
I don't know, probably Stargate of all of them because Firefly didn't really last long enough.
You just like sci-fi in general, though. Like that's.
I'm not a big Star Wars, Star Trek guy per se.
You want to ride on? Sure. Do you have a favorite fandom? No, wouldn't yours be Marvel? Yours would be Marvel, right?
I like Marvel. I don't think I have.
All right, Jones doesn't have a favorite fandom.
Don't have a fandom.
Do you have a favorite fandom? No.
I don't think I have one either. I mean, I love them all.
Yeah, that's true.
You told me that his was to our Star Trek and Star Wars. It was Fast and Furious for him.
It is Fast and Furious. How excited do you get when a Fast and Furious movie comes out, Jones?
Yeah, Fast and Furious is probably up there.
Do you ever have dinner with the family and then have a big family center talk like Dom does to get your family pumped up about being related?
Maybe.
Yeah. See, he's a bit. Yeah, I would say Fast and the Furious.
Juno is the one that's been chiming in on the audio issue and everything, and he basically said in big bold letters that you're a dumbass. Number 1, but in number 2, Stargate is his fandom that would definitely not give up for anything less than some major money.
Like
Yes.
Stargate's. I feel like this. I mean, I guess when you include all the books and stuff, there's a robust universe. So I got in an argument with someone this a couple weeks ago, and this is actually the Dominican intern's wife. She had said something about. I can't remember what the original argument was about, but in the end, she had said Harry Potter is just as vast as Star Wars, and I explained to her I don't think there's any fandom out there that's as fleshed out as Star Wars. If you now you can say canon is smaller than a lot of fandoms, but if you were to include the extended universe, there is a lot of Star Wars stuff out there. There is backstory on every person that appears on the screen in the movies, and so she said Harry Potter was more vast. I was like, there's only 9 movies and 9 books,
and they're the same stories.
Yeah, and they're the same. They overlap. There's 40 or 50 non-fiction Star Wars or
Juno loves you though.
Fiction.
No homo.
Yeah, of course he does. You should have a good looking at him. Look at this.
Did you show everybody your shirt?
I didn't.
The Bob Ross.
It is a pretty dope shirt. It's
Yes.
Bob Ross, Happy Little Trees. When I was a young
When
teenager,
I looked at it first, I thought that his what do you call this? The place where all the paints are on the
palette.
palette.
Yes.
I thought the palette was like the Millennium Falcon, and it was like a Star Wars cross too.
Oh my God.
That's what I kind of thought.
Oh
when I
God.
first looked at
That
it.
would have been hot. No, it's just the classic Bob Ross. I used to get really, really stoned when I was like 15 and just watch Bob Ross for years, like hours.
Hours and hours.
Yeah, it was a sad time. All right. This person isn't listening, nor will he, but I just want to say, screw you, Spencer Parker. So I liked Pop Price Guide today on Facebook, and that apparently puts it somewhere where he can comment on it. And he said, I wonder how much Beanie Babies are going for these days. So, I mean,
He's kind of a.
they're collectibles. Okay. Anyway.
Anyways, what else are we talking about?
I think you have like a story. I've been
Is
talking
that-
for a
that
long
where
time.
We're going? We're
Yeah.
going with the mine now. All right. Well, we need to first of all get into this one.
Drop in your quarters and hold on to the joystick. It's time for news and stories from the gaming world. Gaming news in the arcade.
So, Collegiate Rocket League is invading campuses this fall.
Okay.
I was actually kind of stoked about this because I think the true nature of esports is evolving, and I think Rocket League is definitely one that can make it because it is a fun game to spectate. There's not a lot of games out there that are very fun to spectate, but Rocket League is one of them. So for those that don't know what Rocket League is a soccer race car hybrid.
Yes.
I guess is the best way to describe
Like
it,
micro
right?
machines
Yeah.
playing soccer, basically. There's a big
Right.
ball and...
Yeah. So it's either the cars are really small or the ball is really big. One of the two. Take your pick. It's potato. But what they're doing now is we've broken out of live streams and plugged itself right into network television. These days, esports, like I said, sit alongside traditional sports and popular TV shows on networks ranging from ESPN to TBS. So Collegiate Rocket League will see students battle it out in 3v3 tournament for a share of $50,000 in scholarships. The qualifiers will happen in September, and they will decide the 8 teams from each regional conference, Northeast, South, and West, that will make it to the playoffs from there. The 2 top teams from each conference will advance to the national championship in December, and 1 team will be crowned CRL champions.
So, it's pretty cool, the college scholarship aspect of it.
Right. So Psyonix is the developer of Rocket League,
Which is a very friendly... They're one of those hands-on developers. They get in there with the community
and they've partnered with TESPA, TESPA, to basically air these competitions. That's a college gaming network, and they're basically the developer that's putting its weight behind a new competitive college league. So it's very cool stuff. Keep an eye out for it. And I think that this is going to be more and more norm.
Do
I guess
you
could
see a
say.
day? Do you see a day in our lifetime where it's like, I got a full ride to Duke. I'm playing Rocket League 4 all the way. Full ride to Duke. Do you think? Like an actual, it's the Duke Rocket League, like NCAA Rocket League tournaments.
So we have input. What do you got?
So there are actually universities right now with majors that are in esports major.
Right.
And esport is huge, overseas, and has been for a while, especially in Asia.
I've heard the Koreans are big fans.
Not just Koreans, Chinese,
Yeah.
Japanese. I mean, they're making
StarCraft.
6-figure income.
Did we miss our calling?
But here's my question, right? The esports thing, from a professional standpoint, is about advertising. They're going to make money off advertising. They're going to advertise their brand during the esports thing. Colleges are all about talent when it comes to their sports, right? So is that really what we're driving for with the esports side for colleges as well? Is that where we go, that you really have the best Rocket League player, and that's what Duke wants, or some of these major universities, they want to try to recruit?
That would be so amazing.
The best
you just
gamers, so to speak, right?
Some person comes out there. Something else just hit me. So you have the competitive thing, but then in like 25 years, you have sports movies that are like about like you're gonna have the Rudy of Rocket League. Like I could barely even WASDA, but it was my dream to play StarCraft with the professionals.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, esports compared to any other college sports, it's about reaction time, strategies, hand-eye coordination, all these together. I mean, it's
he got kicked out of school because he was popping Adderall before his StarCraft tournaments.
Adderall probably is going to be a banned substance in the
it's got to be.
League,
I bet it already is.
Yeah, it's
there probably is
out there.
That's amazing.
So yeah, it's but like I said, I just
once the next generation takes hold, dude, it's over.
I can't,
as much as my
do
kid
first-person
watches
shooters,
that stuff,
though, right? First-person shooters, and even the RPGs like the StarCraft and that and everything, and I can't watch those. Those are not entertaining to me to watch.
Oh, the people that watch them though, I watch a StarCraft thing, and I'll just watch it to be like, holy shit, there's a lot of stuff going on the screen. I have no clue how to play that game.
Now, would you watch VR esport competition?
Oh. Would I be in the game? You could be in the game. They could like capture the VR, and you could be like, "Oh my god, we need a." Okay, Bastion Technology is now a VR company. We have a VR thing. It's like Silicon Valley. Like we're gonna get a bunch of VCs to. That would be so cool. You could theoretically do that, right? Where like you have a Counter-Strike thing, and like you can go in and like walk around and be like, see the game. Like, oh man.
Right, and so like I said, esports has been a thing for a while. It was big first-person shooters. Counter-Strike, I think, was one of the first ones in there. Right, was one of the first ones to delve into that.
Definitely,
that territory.
And then StarCraft. StarCraft
Warcraft,
really
even before StarCraft.
Yeah, Warcraft.
Oh, and by the way, one of our loyal listeners has confirmed that Adderall is a banned substance in the Counter-Strike competitions and tournaments.
Is that guy have a nickname after Alaska? Is that
so? Yeah.
I get all my Adderall news from that person, so I believe what he says.
There you go. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up for the evening. Right? It brings us to the hour mark.
It does, and I'm sorry if I screwed up at the beginning of the show. I'm sorry. It was all my crap anyway. So you were like, and I wasn't even.
It was very faint, as he said, as it was reported. The audio was very faint, but apparently we had two different audio streams playing in behind ours.
Whoa!
There was the 24/7 stream, and then because the volume was turned up on the recording PC itself for the speakers, the Facebook Live was also feeding back into the audio for Facebook Live. So
that's a lot of reverberation.
We had an echo of our show now, plus the 24/7 stream going on in the background.
Well,
that's all corrected.
I feel like we could spend another hour delving into why Jesse chose Dave. Like, there's definitely something there. Like, I think we could all feel that there's something there.
You could tell he was conflicted the way he said it, too. He's like,
for 1 second, he's like, I don't want to be Chris. I don't want to be Chris. I don't want to be Chris. I mean, I have a pretty good life. I'm a good guy, Jesse. You can be me. It's fine.
I wish I felt like I have to defend myself, but you explained it all.
Oh, it's messed up. All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody, so much for listening. We will catch you next week. Same time, same channel, same place.
Thanks for listening to Beyond the Routine, brought to you by our friends at Bastion Technologies and Protocol 42.
I don't know you guys.
Oh, I got to say it. Love you guys.
I thought you said thanks, everybody.
Oh.
I
thought you wanted me to do the Dave thing.
No, I was going to do the Dave thing. No, he's Dave. You might as well. Why don't you do the Dave thing?
Thanks, everybody.
Love you guys.
There we go.